A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Welcome back to Lab Cyber. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure you know what's happening right now in the Middle East. We have an all-out war between Iran and the United States and Israel. Now, obviously, the news is all about the military airstrikes, the bombings, the use of rockets and missiles, and Iran's response with their own counter-strikes and Hezbollah and so on. That's what's dominating the news headlines. What you don't hear as much of, though, are the cyber attacks being conducted against Iran before the attack and during the attack itself. And of course, this channel being a cybersecurity focused channel, that's what I really want to talk about. So obviously on your major news outlets like Reuters, they will tell you that hackers, they hit Iranian applications, they took down websites, and even net blocks that monitor our internet connectivity. Only a couple of days ago, they were reporting that internet connectivity in Iran had reached as low as 4%. Now, the latest update as of March 2nd at 2:39 p.m., they're saying right now that Iran's internet blackout has now surpassed 48 hours, leaving its entire population of 90 million out of touch. Obviously, the whole point with this internet blackout is to prevent the Iranian regime, the government, from being able to communicate effectively, from being able to gather information. The downside, though, is that the innocent people in Iran are also affected. Now, what I really want to do here is I want to break down the attacks against Iran, because it wasn't just one type of cyber attack. It was multiple of them, okay? And I've broken them down into 4 distinct layers. We call them the TTPs, the tactics, techniques, and procedures. And it is right here. So the very first layer, the very first cyber attack campaign would be the electronic warfare, the EW. So this is basically the physical layer attack, disrupting navigation and communication systems, prevented the IRGC from coordinating counterattacks. In fact, I heard that when the very first strikes were launched against Iran, it took them nearly 3 to 4 hours before they could respond effectively, before they could begin to launch their own attacks back at Israel and the United States. And because the electronic warfare campaign was effective, it prevented them from being able to respond quickly. After the electronic warfare came layer 2, which is now the DDoS attacks, your classic distributed denial of service attacks aimed at government websites, news agencies. The IRNA was taken offline, and even Iran's so-called isolated national internet buckled under the pressure. So electronic warfare to disrupt communications, denial of service attacks to disrupt news agencies. Next came deep intrusions, the actual attacks against critical infrastructure, like in energy and aviation. And then finally, the info operations, the psychological warfare. And this was very, very, very interesting, because there's a particular application in Iran that's very, very popular called the Beit Saba calendar. Apparently, it's a calendar app that's meant to remind people when to pray. Obviously, Iran being a Muslim nation, I believe Islam is the predominant religion. So many of them are Muslims. They use this particular app to remind them when it is time to pray. And it was hacked. Believe it or not, it was actually hacked. And lots of propaganda messages were spread by Israelis. They were encouraging the Iranian people to lay down their arms. Don't fight for the Khamenei, don't fight for the regime, surrender to the United States, surrender to Israel, things like that, propaganda messages. So that was basically it, the 4 layers of attack that the United States and Israel launched against Iran. Now, the fear, at least from the American and Israeli sides, is that Iran will very likely respond with their own cyber attacks. Iran are actually a pretty capable nation when it comes to cyber attacks. Now, one thing I haven't heard yet is the use of AI in these military campaigns, at least a very, very specific instance of AI being used. I'm going to be very, very curious to see if that would actually occur. But if in this particular campaign, AI wasn't really used, at least to a sizable or relevant level, I'm pretty sure future cyber warfare campaigns will no doubt involve very, very heavy use of AI. But this just goes to show right now that cyber warfare has become a major part of any kind of military campaign. I guarantee you that if one country wants to invade another, some sort of cyber warfare campaign will be launched ahead of those attacks. And this also reminds me of the good old days of Stuxnet. Remember Stuxnet? This was back in 2010. And strangely enough, this particular attack, the very first cyber warfare campaign ever, this was targeted at Iran's nuclear centrifuges by both Israel and the United States. So it's kind of interesting that nearly 20 years later, we now have another cyber warfare campaign conducted against Iran by both Israel and the United States. Really, really interesting, really, really fascinating. So that's it for today's video. I just wanted to quickly talk about the cyber warfare campaign against Iran. Cyber warfare is a critical part of any kind of military operation now. And yeah, I'm going to keep monitoring the news. If there are any kinds of new developments in the cyber warfare campaign, I will, of course, make a follow-up video. But that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here to the channel, welcome to Lab Cyber. My name is Alex. I cover stories around the world of cybersecurity and AI. So if you do enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and then hit the bell so that you're notified. Do you have any comments or questions? I'd love to hear from you. Put your comments down in the comment section below. I always respond to all comments on my channel. Stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.